there is trouble in Minnesota. No, not just for the baseball team, but also for the Vikings as well. On Friday, Queze Adolfo Mensa was fired, and yes, I nailed that name. Don't argue. He was fired, and it's all directly tied to the Super Bowl this weekend. There were several reasons within the building as to why Mensa got fired, but number one among them, quarterback decisions. Yes, that's right. We all remember last year, the Vikings marching their way into the playoffs. Yeah, after a lackluster Week 18 game against Detroit, only to play a wild card game against the Rams and to get completely obliterated for a second week in a row as they had done prior against Detroit. And who was the quarterback then? Sam Darnold. And you remember Sam Darnold on his way out of Minnesota, the leadership, everyone in the building said, well, we had to let go of Sam. We turned to JJ because there was just too many times when Sam struggled in the big game. Well, too many times or just 2 games? I'm guessing it's just the Week 18 and the wild card game. And yes, I know. You can sit there and say that Sam Darnold struggled, but you're gonna oust him in favor of JJ can't make more than 9 completions in a row, McCarthy? Really? That's your answer to this? I know he's going around trying to trademark the number 9. Maybe he needs to be better at completions. Or maybe passes downfield. That would be helpful. But Sam Darnold, really not all his fault. Sam Darnold, last year, combined those 2 games, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a QBR high of 77.6, and sacked 8 times in 1 game. 1 game. That was the Rams game. Sacked 8 times for near 100 yards total. What did Sam Darnold do so far this year in the playoffs? I have it right here. Let's look at it. He has a QBR low of 110.9. A combined 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, and 5 sacks total between the 2 games he's played thus far. So anyone watching the Super Bowl this weekend, and you're getting that little tingly, that spidey sense in the back of your head, I wonder if something tells me about this Super Bowl is tied to the amount of change happening with the Vikings. You'd be correct. Ding, ding, ding. 20 points for you. Circle gets the square. This is a weekend for every NFL team. If you are unsure of who your quarterback is going to be, if you are going to make a change at the quarterback position for next year, you better think long and hard about why you are making the change. Do not make the change because you've got some pretty young thing next door that, hey, I think she looks better in purple than the one I have right now. I might just give her the keys to the house and then the keys to the Jaguar. If you are an NFL team right now, you better make sure you are not making a decision based off sentimentality, based off you trying to look right, you trying to force your bad draft pick decisions into a position where they won't fit. Because if you don't, you will look exactly like the Vikings have looked this weekend. Boys and girls, we are back. This is the Super Bowl episode edition of your Box Scores and Bourbon.
Look at the box scores.
Box Scores and Bourbon.
We check each other's box scores and scores online.
Baseball, box scores.
So football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey.
Box Scores and Bourbon.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play that wound up in Percy's arms. There are flags on the field for a celebration. Amazing.
Well, speaking of the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
there is some history. You tying it all back into the first pitch. There is some downfall, some butterfly effects that have circled all the way back to this Super Bowl preview. And, well, as we start every episode, cheers, everyone. Happy to have
Cheers.
you around
Clink,
again.
clink.
Happy Super Bowl weekend, JB.
Happy Super Bowl weekend. Happy
And of
drill
course-
weekend.
Oh, yes, happy. Of course, that audio that we just listened to was the call for Russell Wilson throwing an interception at the goal line the last time the Patriots and the Seahawks met.
Wasn't that Super Bowl 49? That was
Probably.
what? That was 11 years ago, I think. That was 2014, wasn't it? Or that was the
14,
2014
they
season?
won it. 15. Oh,
That was it was in 2015,
yeah.
I think. The Super Bowl was in 2015, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
2015. But either way,
Yeah.
so it all comes back full circle with all the nostalgia of having a Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl rematch. And I hinted at this last week that there was some bitter taste left in the mouth of Seahawks fans as a whole because of that Super Bowl. And it is just the perfect opportunity for the Seahawks to kind of put that chapter behind them and move on. They're back in the Super Bowl. The Patriots are, for better or for worse, back in the Super Bowl. So we are ready to dive back into these previews, our expectations, our matchup comparisons, everything that we have going on for the Super Bowl. We are here to provide. JB has notes. I have mental notes because I am awful at taking notes. So because I don't ever read them when I take them. So I remember everything as best as I can because I won't know what the heck I'm reading or what the heck I'm trying to say when I write notes. So we're ready to go. JB, how do you feel about the Super Bowl? Let's start there.
So I know I've given a lot of discredit to the Patriots by way of talking about the Seahawks and how they've played football and just how they come about and the edge that I think they have overall over New England. And we'll get into that here shortly. But this is the Super Bowl. And we have to remember that if there's ever a game of the year on the NFL slate that could turn into something that you just did not expect, it's the Super Bowl. And there's a reason why, no matter how great the Seahawks have shown themselves to be, or maybe how tough but offensively inept the Patriots have shown themselves to be, there's a reason why there's only a 4.5 point spread in this game. There's a reason, and the reason is Super Bowl. This could easily come down to a field goal game. Obviously, this is a little bit more than a field goal game that the odds projectors are putting out there. But odds makers, they have a job for a reason, and then they've put this at 4.5, and probably for good reason, like we said. Before I answer that question, and I will answer it after we get through the breakdown of the positions. Let me ask you, Manny, what are your thoughts, without giving the prediction of what you think might happen or will happen? What are your thoughts about how this game is going to play out?
So my thoughts have this entire time since the matchup was set. My thoughts were always this is going to be a very close game because of the way that these two offenses and the two defenses, in a way, like across the board, you can say they match up really well. Like there's not like a discrepancy or one team completely dominating over the other, as we've seen in previous Super Bowls. And like you said, the spread kind of shows that. And I honestly think that spread is a little high. I think it should be a coin toss spread, like a 2.5, 3.5 point spread, like something like that. But I was already thinking that it was going to be a close matchup. And then I was listening to the Rich Eisen show today, and he broke down the last 10 times that the Patriots and Seahawks have matched up. And every single time in the last 10 matchups, it has come down to a single score game. Besides one game, and this was one of the earlier ones, I think it was 2005, where the Patriots were up by 3 at the 2-minute warning, and literally the play after the 2-minute warning, they had the running back break out for a touchdown. So that game ended up being a 10-point game. But besides that game, every single matchup that the Patriots and Seahawks have had for the last 10 has been a 3, a 4, or a game-winning field goal to decide the winner of that game. So I think it's just going to be an overall really competitive game across the board. I think it's going to be a way more exciting matchup than whatever we got last year, which we thought was going to be an exciting matchup with the Eagles and Chiefs, and ended up not being that. Yeah. I think this one definitely has everything that you would want in a Super Bowl to be a very exciting Super Bowl. Now, my caveat to that is this can very easily be a really low-scoring game or a really high-scoring game. And both, I feel like no matter which way that the game goes, it's going to be very competitive and very exciting. It's going to be either defensive performances, because we know that both the defenses that both teams have, or just going to be a explosive offense performance, because we know what type of offense both teams have. So it's going to be a competitive, really close matchup, no matter what type of game you're hoping for.
Yeah, when you look at the Seattle and New England's schedules this season alone, you look at one-score games. The Patriots played 11; they were 8-3. Then one score, just to clarify, one score is 8 points or fewer. So in one-score games, Patriots played in 11; they were 8-3. Seahawks played in 10; they were 7-3. And I went back, and the over/under for this game is 45. I have a feeling that the under is going to be 45. I don't think it's going to be an over game. It could be. I see this being an under game. Not that it won't be like 23-19, but that's still under 45. So under 45 is anything 45 or lower. So in the one-score games that were under 45 points, okay, the Patriots were in 5 of them. They were 4-1. The Seahawks were in 5 of them. They were 4-1.
Nice.
So this is these are two teams that if it does get they play better percentage-wise if the score is kept lower. If the score is kept under 45, both of these teams play that much better. So given the option of going over or under 45, I would say both of these teams are probably trying to sit there and say, okay, we are going to do everything we can to keep this as low score a game as possible. And we'll get into that here in a second, but I want to hear your thoughts on what I just told you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bookies or whatever, the Vegas people, whatever name you want to use for them, I think they look at that when they're looking at the total score. Like there's no way they don't see the trends that these teams have, which is they dominate the ball. And again, we'll break down positions, but I know both of these coaches know how to bleed a clock, how to control the game, how to like dominate the performance to make sure that they have the game plan in place. So it doesn't surprise me that these teams are like head to head, like pretty much symmetrical with the type of performances they have. And you can sit here, and I've heard the arguments way too many times of who have the Patriots beat. They've gone through the easiest schedule. And I was one of the ones that said during the regular season, they've gone through the easiest schedule ever to get to the Super Bowl. Sure, but they still beat the Texans, which have a dominant defense. You can say whatever you want about CJ Stroud, but you still had to beat that defense. No matter what, you had to beat that defense. You can say what you want about the Chargers having a maligned offensive line. Well, they still had Justin Herbert, and you still had a Harbaugh on the other side, which is a great head coach that you have to game plan against. It's not like they've had an easy playoff performance route. Sure, you can look at situationals, and you can argue that the Broncos game maybe went different, but at the end of the day, like they've performed well enough in all those close games to get to the position that they are now. So it doesn't surprise me that you're bringing up those statistics as far as like 4-1 under 45 points and 8-3 in one score games. Like that's not surprising at all.
Yeah, and it's that old adage is like, well, okay, you can't fault a team for playing their opponent. They don't pick the schedule. The
Yeah.
NFL, you don't pick your schedule. That's it. I mean, that's the schedule you have. And then if you're and look, I'm guilty of this too, judging them based off of their week strength of schedule. But we're talking about them in the Super Bowl now, and you can say whatever you want about them not having to play anybody, having a bottom feeder strength of schedule throughout the whole season, but they just beat 3 playoff teams.
Yeah.
They just beat them.
Yeah,
and,
they didn't have the number one seed. They had to go the
team
whole
they
playoff.
beat to get to the Super Bowl was the number 1 seed in the AFC. So we can sit here all day long and say, oh, well, they had a weak strength, that they had a weak schedule, and that's why they were number 2. Okay. Well, they obviously they're playing like the number 2 team. They've proved themselves to be the number 1 team in the AFC because they beat the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So you can say what you want, but they played the schedule that was handed to them. They played their hand, and they played it brilliantly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I mean we can sit here and say that, the Seahawks. Not the Seahawks. You can sit here and say, well, the Patriots, they had a week. Shouldn't they be 11-0 in 1-score games? No, not going to win everything. But if you're going to win as many games as this Patriots team did after going 3-14 last year, in Mike Vrabel's first season, Drake May's second season, and then we're in the Super Bowl now. It's like, okay, well, no, Drake May's third season, second season, yeah, Drake May's second season. So yeah, look, it's all credit to Mike Vrabel, who I've heard nothing but great things about, being a guy who's tough, but loves his players. Players love playing for him. They just absolutely do, and it shows. It shows. This is not a competently offensive team by any stretch whatsoever.
Their number one
quarterback play.
Their number 1 receiver is Stephon Diggs, which is coming off of a torn ACL. Like, they're not this juggernaut of offensive weapons. They're starting running back Stevenson. Like, they're just not. And they found a way, to put up points. It's not like looking at 2 weeks ago against the Broncos, you could easily sit there and say the Broncos got to where they were because their defense was outperforming and carrying that team, and the offense didn't have to score points because their defense was just that kind of tough. You don't have to sit here and say the Patriots were carried by their defense, even though they lacked explosive weapons. They beat teams putting up 42 points. They beat Miami and putting up 42 points. They beat the Ravens putting up 28 points. Like, that's not like a scrub of an offense at all. This just goes to show the coaching aspect of it all, that you can game plan against whatever your weaknesses are, and you can highlight your strengths. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah. So let's we got 12 minutes left. Let's break this down to position by position.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll list off a position. You tell me the strength you got. I'll tell you the strength I got. All right.
Okay.
Quarterback.
I think this is a closer than people are giving it credit.
No, it's not. It's not.
I think it is. I'm
trying to save you here. It's not.
No, it's a close comparison, but I'm gonna have to say Sam Darnold because of the experience. He's gone through the tribulations and the bad teams and having to figure yourself out, being called washed, and going through what you highlighted in the first pitch, which was his like downfalls or his choking in the big moments. I have to give it to Sam Darnold because he's shown that even when he's had the 4-pick games, that he could still bounce back and find a way to win. And not always, I'm sure he's relied on his defense to kind of save him from those positions, but he has still put them in a position to win a lot of games. Drake May lacks the experience. So I'm going to go with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I'm going with Sam Darnold simply for the fact that he is playing at an MVP caliber level.
Whoa!
And
I wouldn't go that far.
He look,
playoffs MVP. Are you saying like playoffs MVP? Because that I could.
He's playing like an MVP when it counts. Okay. And so, and for me, that's what an MVP is. When it matters most, you're showing up. That's it. And Sam Darnold is absolutely showing up already. So this is Sam Darnold. Yes, the book has already been written on him, but this is his rags to riches book. Sam Darnold is the equivalent of the guy who made $1 million and then wrote a book about how he lost it, and then wrote a second book of how he became a millionaire again. So this is Sam Darnold's attempt at writing that second book, how I became a millionaire again.
Let me just tell you, you're saying Sam Darnold is playing at MVP caliber. More than likely, Drake May is going to come second in the MVP conversation here in, I think, tomorrow. But that's which highlights my point. Well, if you're saying Sam Darnold is playing MVP caliber football, so did Drake May, which is why I'm saying it's pretty close. I think the comparison is pretty close, closer than some people might think.
And I'm talking about the playoffs right now. I'm talking about right now, we're in second season. This is the second season of the NFL season right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is why I asked you, playoffs MVP.
This is the second season.
Sure.
And and this is a tale of two quarterbacks. Drake May has not played his best. He is not in the playoffs.
No,
he is not.
They beat the Broncos without scoring a touchdown. That's
Sam Darnold has been absolutely otherworldly. It has been night and day from his last two games last year in Minnesota, the Week 18 and wild card game.
Mm-hmm.
The divisional round championship game. This is the Sam Darnold we saw all throughout last regular season and at most points of this regular season. This is the Sam Darnold that Seattle went and paid the money for. True. And when we're talking about positions and we're talking about who's going to win, it usually comes down to quarterback. Comes down to quarterback play. And as we go down the list, we'll get into a little bit more of the nuances.
We'll tally the overalls, and we'll see.
And then we'll get into the nuance too of just kind of like how the strengths will affect the quarterback. Okay, running back.
So we both have Sam Darnold. We'll end this QB conversation. We both have Sam Darnold as has the lead on that matchup.
Running backs.
I have to lean on the Patriots because the Seahawks lost one of their bell cows running backs, and I know that they have. Yes, and you can say that he wasn't the lead back or he wasn't like the dominant running back, but he was like the red zone, the goal line kind of situation running back for them. That might have an impact on the type of the performance. I'm just saying, because of the loss, I have to give the edge to the Patriots because they have their running back group healthy and ready to go.
Yeah. I'm going to give this one a draw. I know... A draw.
We don't do draws.
Yeah, draws. It's fine. Whatever. It's
We're
the
in
NFL.
Playoffs.
They don't play whole quarters
in the
anymore.
playoffs.
Yeah, they don't play whole quarters in overtime. I'm going to give it a draw. I might give the slight edge to Seattle if I have to pick one, just because Seattle's got their running back room has the ability to produce a more dynamic, big chunk plays.
Walker showed he can do it.
New England does. If I'm looking for an edge, if I have to decide between one or the other, I'll go with Seattle purely for that right there.
Interesting. Can you? Who's the second on the depth chart on the Seahawks side right now? Let me just ask you that real quick, because I think you're giving them too much credit. George Holani is number 2 on the depth chart right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, no, and look, I'm not saying like this was it's not. I'm just like, if you're gonna, don't forget about Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker has the ability to go beast mode on people and to, a very, very apropos, mention there. But this is this is still a running back that has the ability to break for long runs. So. Whether
he scored 3 touchdowns against the 49ers, so he can carry.
Whether it's Walker, whether it's Holani, don't disrespect Holani, okay? His second cousin went to my high school. All right. His second cousin went to my high school and babysat my little sister. Okay. So I got nothing but love for George Halani. All right. So, none of that's true, by the way. Wide receivers. Who you got?
Easy. This is an easy one. It has to be the Seahawks, and you can just call. I mean, there's more well-rounded receivers on the Seahawks roster overall.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that easy. I just commented on how the starter for the Patriots is Diggs. He's coming off an injury, and there's not that many explosive wide receivers on the Patriots roster. The Seahawks have Cup, and they have I'm blanking on his 4 names that he has, but
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Thank you.
The most important guy. Jeez.
Well, I was going to call him by his initials, and then I blanked.
My goodness.
Thank you.
I buy jewelry off the JSN channel. Yeah.
Either way, they have more well-rounded wide receivers. I'll go with the Seahawks because their their wide receiver performance has been clutch, dominant, and Njigba should be the offensive player of the year by the time Super Bowl comes around. So I'll go with the Seahawks on this one.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, JSN, Cooper Kupp is still there. He's got all that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Tony Horton's having a great rookie year. This is a Seahawks receiver room that maybe doesn't show a lot of depth on the surface, but when you get to JSN, JSN is a lot of he's first and second and third level all on his own.
Yep.
So really, with him, you got 5 receivers on the field.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think that's probably the easiest position breakdown that we can say the Seahawks have a way bigger edge over the Patriots.
Yeah. So okay, tight end. Who you got?
I kind of want to lean towards the Patriots.
Yeah, you'd be right.
I think the Patriots have just more the more established tight end room. They have I think his first name is Hunter Henry. He's been around. I'll say this about Hunter Henry and him sticking around at the Patriots. He has gone through some tribulations with that organization where he was a nobody. Now Drake May relies on him pretty well whenever he has to throw it in the middle of the field. Like he has been in maybe not a dominant tight end like some people might be used to because the tight end has been like this dominant position for the last couple of years. But he's a safety net for Drake May, and he's like a well-rounded tight end. So I'll just with him as a lead tight end, I'll give the Patriots the win on this one.
Yeah, I got the Patriots having the edge in this one too. Hunter Henry, and then also Austin Hooper, a great vet backup. He's been in the league forever. He's played in winning situations. He's played in losing situations. So he completely understands it all.
Both of them.
The O-line. Who you got?
Ooh, the O-line. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I think this is pretty close. This is another close matchup. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks on this. Sam Darnold hasn't had to be running for his life too much. He hasn't. If he's taken sacks, it's more been like breakdowns and plays or kind of scramble situations. I have to give the Seahawks the edge on their line play. I don't know about the Patriots line. It's just so my thing with the Patriots offensive line is that Drake May is a kind of a scrambling quarterback for whatever that means in this era of quarterback scrambling. So it's hard to kind of differentiate whenever there's bad line play or whenever Drake May just is one of those rolling out quarterbacks. It's just hard for me to gauge that offensive line. But I've seen enough of the Seahawks offensive line to be able to say that they're more well-rounded overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Seattle's offensive line better. They're better in the pass protection, which is going to come into play if for some reason New England can stop the run game or at least just stifle it enough to have to cause Sam Darnold to drop back or too many times and maybe have to make a pass that's beyond the intermediate of the field. Maybe have to go downfield. The further downfield Sam Darnold has to throw a football, the more dangerous ground that he's in. The higher chance it is for that pass be intercepted.
Especially because he still has that lingering oblique injury, which might maybe hinder him a little bit with that torque to be able to get it downfield. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Defense. Defense as a whole. We can break. Okay, you want to break it down? We can break it down between front four,
seven.
linebackers, and secondary.
I'll make it easier for you. Front seven, Seahawks. That front seven of the Seahawks is dominant. They might be the X factor for this matchup. The linebackers and the front four that they have in the Seahawks they have many a times rattled offenses and rattled the quarterbacks and disturbed and caused all kinds of messes for the opposition's offense. I think to me, it's not even that close for me to say that the Seahawks have the way more dominant front seven, front four, however you want to break it down. But either way, if you ask me linebackers or front four, it's going to be the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to say that this is really going to – so I'll give the front four to Seattle. I'll give the secondary to Seattle.
Yeah.
I will give the edge to the Patriots in the linebacker core if Harold Landry shows up. If Harold Landry can show up and actually ball out, this would be huge for New England. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a game changer, but this is where the rubber meets the road for both Seattle and for Denver. I mean, for Seattle and for New England. Excuse me. For Seattle, if Seattle's O-line can penetrate New England's O-line, okay? If Seattle can win the line of scrimmage on the defensive side, then that's going to force Drake May to have to scramble or maybe make some safety shots in the flats, maybe try to force a pass in the middle of the field that's not there. With also Seattle loves to rush inside of the O-line. And so there's going to have to be some tight splits with that New England O-line in order to protect Drake May. And so we'll be able to, that'll obviously show itself because that's just how Seattle dominates on the defensive side. But on New England, if New England can penetrate, if they can win the battle of the trenches on the defensive side, if New England can penetrate that Seattle O-line and they can stop the run game, if they can quiet the run game, Seattle's run game, then it's very, very likely that Sam Darnold will have to, like I said earlier, maybe have to take some shots downfield that he doesn't want to take. He'll have to take some shots, maybe even in the intermediate that really aren't there, putting them in a very precarious position to turn the ball over.
Which would put your linebackers take into consideration.
Yes.
Like if he has to take the intermediate shots, the linebackers are going to be the deciding factor for that. Yeah.
So this is going to be one of those. I'm not surprised by it. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I like flashier things. I like the sexier things. Now I'm older, and now I like stability. Okay, I like knowing I live in a home that's not going to fall on top of me while I'm sleeping, or that the radiator is not going to burn the house down. I like assurances, and this is why in my 40s I'm a big fan of you win the game in the trenches. You win the game on the O-line and the D-line. You win it on both. This is where games are won and lost in the trenches. This is it. And
you've been saying that for 2 years, JB.
Yeah, and we can talk. I've been an old man for a while. We can talk about the quarterback battle and who has the edge And that matters. That does matter because at the end of the day, if your O-line fails, how is your quarterback going to respond? And that does matter. And I will say, in those moments when Drake May hasn't had the best postseason so far, but his legs have worked plenty well.
Yeah.
And his legs won the game against Denver 2 weeks ago. It's Drake May's legs that gave New England the victory. So if Seattle loses the game in the trenches here,
I mean, that's what.
if New England's O-line and D-line can hold, if they hold, New England's got a very good shot to win this game, which is why I said this is going to be an under 45 game. This is not going to be a shootout. This is going to be like a 23-19. It's not going to be high scoring. Both teams will get double digits. Maybe both will get 20, low 20s, but it will be under 45. And it will be within 4.5 points. I think it's going to be a field goal game, honestly.
Yeah.
And so,
Are you let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How close is it? Words are hard right now. How close is it when it comes to the comparison for those front seven or front four for each team? Because I don't think it's that close. But
I don't think it's that close either. I think it's a lot closer depending on the personnel who show up for New England. So if Harold Landry shows up, that gap closes. Now on the O-line side, Seattle's got the clear edge, especially with Will Campbell. He's been struggling. He has not looked good this postseason. So, and look, that's a guy you drafted to anchor your O-line, and he will for years to come. He's young. He's still working it. But this is the O-line I give to Seattle. The D-line I give to Seattle. But the linebacker core, I give the edge to New England if Harold Landry shows up. It's a different ball game when you have not just Christian Gonzalez in the secondary for New England and guys like Milton Williams on the D line for the Patriots, but if Harold Landry can show up and be right there in the midfield, that changes things. It absolutely changes things. It changes schemes. It changes how the Patriots are going to approach trying to encroach on that Seattle O-line. We'll see what happens. But as it stands right now, I'm going to give the edge to Seattle. So which brings me to my next point, or my next question. Who has the coaching edge, and who's winning this football game?
The coaching edge is a hard question. And I think out of all the position groups or anything that has to do with a football team, I think we harp and we are more critical of the head coaching position and the coordinators. And this is no different. I think you're saying the trenches are going to be the deciding factor for this game. It's an easy out, but I feel like it's going to matter a lot. I think the coaching and the coordinators are going to be the deciding X factor for this matchup. Now, this is by far, I think, the hardest pick for me to do. Mike Macdonald has shown that he can build a team. He knows how to coach a team. But Mike, if you look at the other side, Mike Vrabel has shown that he could make magic out of nobody. He got Tennessee to the AFC Championship with Tannehill as his quarterback, and he was a couple plays away from getting them to a Super Bowl. Like, it is honestly a very hard pick for me. But if I look at how the teams are performed, if I take out the resume part of what the coaches have done before, and I just look at what this year has brought and what how the teams have performed, and I tag that to what the head coaches are, I would have to say I give the coaching edge to the Seahawks because I feel like they are the most well-rounded across all three phases of the game. And whether you want to give credit to all three phases of the game to the head coach or not, I think that the head coach has an influence on all three aspects of the game. And because I've seen the Seahawks dominate on special teams, which is an underappreciated, underreported aspect of their game. They've dominated on special teams. Their defense, I've already said more than enough about the dominant defense performance. And their offense just has multiple levels to it where they can run the ball and control the game. They can rely on Sam Darnold. There's been games where they rely on Sam Darnold to throw the ball 30, 40 times, and they still win the games. I have to give the edge to the Seahawks coaching staff because the overall picture, the overall what I've seen out of the teams tells me the Seahawks are just in all three phases more well-rounded, which is why when I'm giving the edge to when you're just asking who I'm giving the edge to, it has to be the Seahawks because I think it makes the biggest difference. Your coaching, your coordinators, all that is the biggest deciding factor. So I have to give the Seahawks the edge overall on this performance.
Okay. I'm going to give the edge to Seattle as well. I think just throughout the course of the regular season and even in the playoffs, we talked about one-score games. We talked about the records of both. They were both even. Seattle had by far a much tougher schedule to go through. They had to play the Rams and the Niners twice. That's 4 games right there they had to play them. And then the Seahawks had to play the Rams a third time. So this is not I'm not going to lean on sentimentality. I'm not going to lean on Mike Vrabel has done this with the Patriots before as a player. Now he's back and he's doing this again and now he's trying to do this as a coach. I'm not leaning on that. I'm leaning on right now what I can see and what's presented before me. This is not a clear-cut decision. These are both great coaches.
Mm-hmm.
These are fantastic coaches. And Mike McDonald in his second season, Mike Vrabel in his first season, leading these teams. No one had Seattle and New England in the Super Bowl on their bingo card. And if you say you did, you're either a homer or you're a liar. That's it. That's the only thing. Okay? You're either a 12th man or you live at Dunkin' Donuts or you're a liar. Those are the only 3 choices. Now, given that we've given our decisions on or our picks for who has the coaching edge, which, there's no right and wrong answer, but I can see the merit in both arguments.
Yeah.
What is your score for this game? Who do you got and who's winning? And who you got and what's the score?
So, who do I got? I have the Seahawks, but I'm so nervous to make this pick because every time that I see like a team like the Patriots, where you're like, well, they're like the other team has the edge on them, the Patriots find a way to win. I will give the Seahawks the Super Bowl championship this year. But I will say, I'm very, very, like I said earlier, this is a very close game. Now, the score, I'm going to stick with the trend, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go 21-23 with a game-winning field goal by the Seahawks. That's going to be my score.
23-21 Seattle's your score.
Yes.
Okay. I got Seattle in this game. I got 23-19.
Okay.
And I got 23-19 just so those who pick New England plus the points, you still win. You win by half a point. Yeah. So I'm going to split hairs here. I'm going to give Seattle the win. I'm going to give people who bet for New England to win. If it stays at 4.5.
I'm doing the same thing. I gave them a 2 point.
Yeah. So this is I got 23-19. I got a last ditch drive by New England to try to win the game with a touchdown, and now the roles are reversed. I'm not saying it's going to end on the 2-yard line. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying last time it was a touchdown. This time be a touchdown, but this time Seattle gets the victory.
So no goal line stands for the Seahawks just to get like the cherry on top against the Patriots.
I
Just
mean, if that
rounding
were
it
to
up.
happen, that would be absolutely fantastic. That would
Fourth-
be awesome. I
Fourth
would
and
love
goal, 20 seconds to go, and the Patriots need 4 points to win the game, and the Seahawks make a stand. That would be beautiful. That would be poetry. I might say the NFL is scripted if that's how it ends because it just makes too much sense.
No,
for
if it were to happen that way, if there was a goal line opportunity, like a goal to go to win the Super Bowl in this instance, and New England had to get the touchdown, what would happen is New England would score the touchdown and then show Seahawks fans, see, all you had to do was run it in. That's all you had to do. You'd have won last time if you ran it in. That's it. Yeah, but you didn't.
That's what you get. That's what you get. Another little jab at your gut. You see what happens when you do the right thing. All right, we'll end it there, JB. What did you drink? What did you smoke?
I drank this Knob Creek 9-year, 100 proof,
Nice.
and I was smoking this very economical Alameda. It is a Connecticut wrapper, Dominican blend with a Brazilian binder. It's a $5 stick, but it's very, very, very good.
Nice.
It's a good smoke. It's a
You
good
know
smoke.
what? I've been meaning to get around to buy a Knobs Creek, the what do they call it? The maple whiskey. I need another bottle of that. I think you gave me the last bottle that I had of that.
Maybe
Didn't
I
you?
did.
Maybe for my birthday. I
Good
think you
chance.
gave me. Good chance. But anyways, not as exciting. I have a bottle of the
Pre-made old fashions from Costco.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
No, it's been in our house regularly. I was too busy to go search for another bottle, so I used this one. But it's good.
Costco old fashions. Yeah.
Well, call me old fashioned because I'm drinking the old fashioned. All right, JB, Super Bowl weekend. Where can everybody find, listen, interact with all our content?
As usual, you can find full-length episodes of Box Scores and Bourbon on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We grow the more you interact with us. Leave a comment, talk to us, like us, poke us. I guess if we were on Facebook, if that's still a thing. And then you can find additional content at BSB Sports 24 on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Again, interact with us, like us, repost us. Anything you do, follow us. All of it helps. We are a struggling artist type of podcast. This is not our full-time job.
Productions.
We have full-time jobs. This is what we do as a hobby, and we would like it to be more than a hobby. So degrade us, yell at us, make us feel bad about ourselves, whatever. I don't care. A comment's a comment. Doesn't matter to me. So leave it on YouTube, leave it on TikTok. That's fantastic. And until next time, folks, stay thirsty.
Cheers, everyone.